Welcome to It's a Nerdy Thing. For today's session, we have with us Sameer Saxena, the author of Sunset by the River. Hello, Sameer.
Hello, Aishi. How are you?
I am pretty good. Welcome to this session. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much.
By the
Yeah,
way,
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, and happy Teachers Day to everyone. Everyone is a teacher. Everyone teaches everything to everyone.
yes, everyone is a teacher, exactly. So, uh, how are you, how's your experience going? Like the book?
Experiences, yeah, it's getting started to going into my head. I can't explain the experience right now. It's like I have created something which is kind of going all around. People are responding to it, and people are responding
Very
beyond my
positively.
expectation. Yeah, I haven't expected this kind of response when I was writing or even approaching the publisher. I just wanted to put my story out, but the kind of response and appreciation and messages I'm getting, it's just out of this world. I can't explain my feeling exactly.
I enjoyed reading this book. Like, I had a very good time while reading it. Like, it was such an amazing experience.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it.
With your permission, Sameer, I would first like to introduce you to our audience. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Please.
Sameer Saxena is a mechanical engineer and is currently working as an assistant manager in UCO Bank. He has he had been passionate about writing and had written many plays for various college cultural events. Finally, after 5 years, he has come up with a masterpiece in form of Sunset by the River, his debut novel, and now an Amazon bestseller. Wow, this I think this book got into the bestsellers list in the first week, right?
Not just first week, it went into the hot releases top seller list within the
Wow.
24 hours. I just I just when I saw the portal gone live. By the way, thank you for my so interesting introduction. I kind of not habitual to listen this, but thank you so much. So when I saw the portal going live and book went live, the green color saying that the book is live, it was amazing feeling, and I thought, okay, maybe some of my friends will buy it. Maybe okay, I'll get response. I'll wait for the response.
Hmm.
But then I checked the website. I was just these things happen when we have something. Now we used to check out that a lot. So when I was checking that, and when I gone into the journal section, and when I clicked on that hot releases of the Amazon, and it was at number one. I can't explain, what I felt that time. It was just
I know
surreal
it after
experience.
reading the book. I actually know it why it went like directly to the hot session section. Like it was such an amazing book, guys. Like I would request the audience to definitely buy this book because I had such an amazing time reading this book.
Thank you.
Like I had such a good time. Like I was having classes, and in between classes, like I hope my teachers are not listening, because in between classes I was actually reading the book. It was so interesting, and like it kept me on the edge of my seat. Like what is going to happen next? What is going to happen next?
Wow, means so much. And if your teachers are listening, I would request to them, please buy it also. It's amazing, you have read it, and you're sharing your experience. Apart from that, what feedbacks I've got when I was, when I finished my first draft, I was looking for publishers, but before that, I have, given for proofread to some of my friends,
Yes.
and they have also given amazing responses, that built up my confidence to go ahead with this. And then okay, we are discussing it now at its release.
Yeah. Like rest is history. So
Not history yet, but yeah, rest is just amazing, really.
history in the making.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me your story behind becoming a writer, like from an assistant manager and then mechanical engineer, assistant manager, then now a writer. Like how has been your journey?
Journey has been quite a roller coaster ride, I would say. When I was in engineering, I just wanted to be, normal engineering, having some engineering job. And when I finished my engineering, there were some things which were, craving me to write this story. There were some kind of events which I could correlate happened that, pushed me to write this story. Before that, I was not writing anything. I was just yeah, I was kind of writing short plays for the college events.
Mm-hmm.
There were some college events which were, kind of happened in cultural fest of my college and my city's other colleges. So I wrote that, and I haven't thought of writing any book back then. But then something has happened with someone I have came in contact, not directly but indirectly through a person, and that has given me a thought that okay, this is serious, this is very serious. And if I can not do anything to completely eradicate it or make it a bit better, but why don't I write something about this? So that's how it started. I started penning down few lines, and
Mm-hmm.
then it became a paragraph, which became a chapter, and bit by bit, step by step, it
Yeah.
has taken a shape of a book.
Yeah.
And in that journey, a lot of things in my life have changed. I have done a job after my engineering around 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
After that, I have done teaching for 2 years. I
Wow.
become teacher, and then I
That's
joined bank because a banking job is kind of a job which gives you an opportunity to serve the pupil, to serve the public, and it gives a good feeling, and the selection process is quite smooth, so I got into it. And that's when I started writing more intensely. When I got this job and finished it, it took 6 to 7 years,
wow. You
starting
have
from the
had
idea.
quite a lot of journey.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, you can say. Amazing experience it's been till now.
Like that is an amazing experience. Like maybe one more story on that.
Oh, okay. I think I should think about that. You were saying
Yeah.
so.
So can you please introduce this book, this like amazing book to our audience?
Okay. I've listened the journey part. It can also be an introduction to this book, Sunset by the River. The story has been close to my heart because it's obviously it's my first book,
Hmm.
but apart from that, it's close because the issue which is discussed in this book, the story revolves around a theme which is quite rarely discussed in our country or even in the world.
Hmm.
And there are two characters who are quite their lives have been affected by this the kind of thing which we will discuss here. And what happens what happens is uh, a person who has everything going perfect in her his or her life, and then suddenly something happens and the life changes completely, the lives of people around them changes completely. And that's what I wanted to narrate through this story, Sunset by the River. I think I'm lucky that I was able to complete it and narrate it, and luckier that people are responding so well.
Lucky are the readers that you finally complete such an amazing book. Like the plot of the story is so good. Like if I'll speak about the plot, I know I'll give spoilers. That is why I don't want to go into that. But it's so good.
I fumble a lot when I started to talk about this story because I've written it such a way because as every chapter or every as you might have read kind of has a mystery factor around it. So whenever I speak it, I just kind of fumble. So apologies for that. But apart from that, the story is a thing which has affected a person's life, affected people around that person. So that's why it was more important for me to come out with the issue. I have managed to fictitiously narrated this around a plot which can give you an experience of romance, which can give you an experience of you can say mystery and a bit of thrill.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought of writing. Initially, I thought of writing about that genre only, the theme which is the book is based on.
Yeah.
I started writing, and I think I've written 3 chapters initially.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 chapters was revolving around completely on the issue, and I haven't included any romantic part, any thrill or anything. So I had to scrap those 3 chapters completely and start from the scratch with the narration. So kind of, as I said, roller coaster ride for me writing this story.
I get it. Like writing a story has a story in its own. Like, and so I want to know from you, like, how does this journey of writing this book begin? Like, how did the forming of the characters started in your head?
As I said, no, I had written first 3 chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote it completely focusing on the issue, the theme of the book, and I haven't created any plot or characters by then. So when I wrote 3 chapters, I said, okay, this is only the narration which I feel, which I have experienced,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of will not be able to grasp the audience, which is very important if you want to tell the story. So then I had to scrap those chapters. They are lying on my laptop folders as it is. Maybe someday I'll publish it. So
As
what
the
happened
maybe
then?
draft of the book, first draft of the book.
But it's even not a first draft because it's completely different narration, completely different characters, completely different story. The theme was this, but it was completely different.
Okay.
And then I had to take a pause because then I graduated and I was looking for job.
Mm-hmm.
And I have kind of placed that story aside for, I think, months, 6 or 7 months, when I was in job in Delhi NCR region. So I did a job then.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I had to come back home because I kind of not getting in feel to do the job which I was involved into. And so I came back home. I started the teaching job, and luckily, it was also an amazing experience of 2 years. I've got a lot of good students and juniors who are supporting me in this book release. So after the that job, I had to prepare for banking exam. I prepared banking exam, but the story was completely revolving around my mind. I knew I had to write something, so I was keep thinking about that. So when I was last 2 years back, I was in my past posting of the bank. I
Mm-hmm.
used to travel 50 kilometers and to the office, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when I got some time to think, because the career thing kind of became stable. So I started thinking for the plot, for the characters, for the theme. How can it be related and catch the readers? They don't feel bored to only reading the theme about that.
Okay.
So I kind of started to think about characters, plots. Whoever I meet, I used to stare at them and think about how can it become a character to me. So it was this
That
kind of
what was
experience for
that
me.
is something. I
Yeah,
think
people
that
used to,
people used to think that okay, what kind of a guy this is.
yeah, for an instant, I was talking to a customer, and then I'm thinking that can I include this in my character? So it was
Wow.
just amazing experience for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I thought, what am I doing? Is it even going to, complete version or not? But ultimately, step by step, it has happened, and I'm really grateful for this.
Yeah, that was like what an experience it is. Like such a different experience. I am thinking about the people on the bus or whoever you're traveling with. They might think like, what kind of a guy this is? Like, why is this guy staring at me?
It
Wow.
happened quite a few occasions. I used to wear the goggles so that my eyes don't, go straight to the person.
Yeah,
That's why I used to carry goggles also.
that's
So
a smart thing
kind
that
of,
you did.
yeah, maybe you can say kind of nerdy thing. I'm sorry, my camera got stuck
Wow.
a bit.
So, are you a reader
Yeah,
also? Like, do you like reading?
yeah. Of course, I'm a reader, and I won't, I don't calculate the amount of reading required to be a nerd, but yeah, I do quite a bit of read. Even there were phases when I was writing this and I was quite, stuck somewhere in the
Mhm.
plot, in the characters, in the
Yeah.
story. I used to think, I'm stuck. I can't, think anything. So that's when I, took a pause to read in between this journey of writing the story. I took a pause to read a few books, and yeah, that helped a lot. You know, to
Yes.
create the plots and characters and narration. Reading helps a lot.
Any favorite book that you have? Like books, maybe I should say.
Yeah, there are books. So I think I can't name every book, but yeah, during this journey, I have read a few books of Nicholas Sparks. I've read The Notebook, and it's quite close to me also because the kind of narration and the kind of issues
Yeah.
he touches, in his writing style, in his stories, they are quite close to me. I've read Sherlock Holmes also. It's that helped me to uh,
Same favorite. Like
introduce the mystery and thrill part. So I've read
where the
three
love part
novels of.
came and from where the mystery part came.
You could relate to it after, yeah, you have completed it, so yeah, I think you can relate to it.
Completely.
Okay. I admire a lot Augusta Christie. I the kind of storytelling and
Mhm.
mystery factor and mm, thrill thing. These writers, are, you can read anytime, anywhere, and multiple times. You can't count.
Yes, I would agree to that. Like 100%. Like Nicholas Sparks is like whenever I'm not in the mood of reading, I'll pick a Nicholas Sparks book and I'll just like okay, like reading is such a good
uh, you
habit.
know
So
just
yeah,
flows like the
yeah.
water.
Exactly. This book, Sunset by the River, is based on a very rare theme, and I don't want to give any spoilers again. But I'm curious to know what research work you had done and what places did you visit for the research work?
For each search, there are quite a little stories in that too. I had to visit some places, and there is a place which was out of my reach. I haven't visited there. From the part the story starts, uh, for that I needed a help who have been there. I talked to him over phone and over WhatsApp. I asked for the pictures, the starting part and the ending part, the place where mentioned the Osaka. I've never been there, but I asked for the from the friend to help me. He provided me pictures. He guided me what places I can introduce. And then there comes a part where I have lived during my job at Delhi NCR and Gurgaon. I've lived there around 6 to 7 months for my job after engineering. So I had the experience of places. For for a part of Jaipur, there is a little story. What happened was, I need a phone, and there is a friend of mine, Mank. He lives in Jaipur. So his card has the offer which was applied to that phone. So I asked him, please order a phone to me, please. I need a phone. So he said, okay, let me order it. So what happened? He accidentally ordered the phone at his place in Jaipur, and
Oh,
the phone was delivered to his address. And I was like, okay, now what do we do? I can't, ask him to courier because these electronic things are not safe, So I had to go there. I had to go to receive my phone. I stayed there for over a day and night, and that's when I kind of roam somewhere in localities which I had to depict, and it's been quite a coincidental journey, you can say.
yeah,
So yeah,
following you.
so these things happened. I haven't expected to do research for this, but these things happened with me, with the journey I had around my career or any life related incidents,
Mhm.
and then I had to introduce in the story somehow. and luckily that
Means
happened.
the story is quite a bit of an experience of your life, like throughout your life actually, has
Yes,
influenced.
you can say that. You can so say that. For the theme, if you will say it, it's not part of my life, but it's a part of someone else's life, which I have to understand. And to understand that, I had two or three very professional people whom I've met, and that was the part I had to do research quite, you can say, professionally. I couldn't take risks to
Yeah, you can.
write
Yeah,
about it in any way, because that is a serious, very serious issue. You have to have knowledge of that, you have to have understanding of the issue. So I had to met few people,
mhm.
few professionals who had the understanding, and uh, they had professional knowledge about the issue. So I've talked to them, and they've explained me. They said, okay, there's first time someone is coming to us and asking for they writing the book on this issue. So they were also quite excited, talk to me about it. That's how it happened.
That's really good. Like, because I was reading the book and I also, like, I was so into the book. I read the acknowledgement part and like the whole thing, like everything, like the editor's note, the writer's note, everything. I read the whole thing, like from cover to cover. Like, literally, I read
Oh,
this book from
editor's
cover
note,
to cover.
Devansh has,
Yeah.
done a fantastic work with me. He has,
Yes.
improved the version quite,
Like I could
drastically.
understand, like the book is very crisp. Like I did not get bored anywhere. Like I did not want to leave the book. Means that's very
Wow.
evident that the editor has done a great job with the book, because
Yeah,
like
he,
it was very crisp. Like it was like okay, this was not required in the book. There was no portion which I felt like okay, this did not add up to the content of the book.
we had to cut out an entire chapter. That's when I was quite possessive about my story, and I was like, oh my God, one complete chapter. Why are you doing this to me? You're cutting a part out of my life. But we discussed, and
Towards the end
we
of the book, that chapter, maybe in future.
yeah, maybe I can introduce that, because it has a part which talks about the friend of the main character Hitesh, and it kind of has something, and maybe I'll come out someday if people ask for it. I'll come out someday with that chapter too.
Yeah, I would request you on behalf of the like readers out there, like maybe an extra bonus chapter. Yeah, authors do that all the time.
I have saved in my laptop, and I am cherishing it, and maybe I'll come out with it. That's a great
Yeah,
idea. Thank you, Ayushi.
you're welcome. I would like to ask you, like this book, as we have already talked, is a combination of romance, mystery, horror. Like it is a combination of literally all. Like I would request the audience, like don't go only on the title of the book that it is just some other romance. Sameer is hiding the main issue of the topic, but I can't speak about it because I have been strictly told not to bring spoilers. But I would say that go and read this book, and I would like to ask you, Sameer, like how did you navigate through your emotions while writing a book that's a package and it's entertaining, and like it actually sucked me into it. So how did you navigate through the emotion, like romance, horror, mystery, and like so many things?
As I said, when I started it, I wrote three chapters, and they were completely based on the theme, the person who is affected. It
Mm-hmm.
was my narration, and kind of thing happen. People, when writers write something, they have to feel good about the comfort zone, that yes, I am writing this, and I am writing this my way. I'm not thinking about writers, I'm writing it my way, and I'll complete it my way. But what happens when you write it according to your comfort zone? You don't kind of attract readers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I thought that okay, I'm writing this because I have experienced it. The person has experienced it, but will the readers get into it? Will the readers grasp it? They will understand the theme right away. That's no issue. But will they read this as an experience of you can say mystery and thrill? So I had to make a plot which which revolves around this theme,
Mhm.
which includes the part of this theme. So I had to think what plots and what genres. I haven't thought about genre. I thought about the mainly the plot. How can the characters and the story be revolved so that it can I don't leave the theme, and it also grasp the readers at the same times.
Yes.
So that's why I had to introduce the romance part in it, which luckily went well as per
Very
the
well. Yeah.
feedbacks I'm getting. And then I have to introduce the thrill and kind of horror part which you are talking about.
How did you
And
switch your mind?
step by step, it has.
Like I was asking,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
did you switch your mind? Like you're writing a romance and then you are entering in horror and like mystery thing. So like, how did you switch your mind while doing that? Like, and the romance part was still there. Like it did not just vanish off.
When I thought about writing first, before this theme came into my mind, I was thinking of writing something romantic only. I haven't got the plot back then, so I wrote few paragraphs, in a romantic way, which whatever came to my mind when the main character sees the girl for the first time. I've written that part before this story. I've written somewhere in my laptop. It was lying, and when I got this theme, I started writing this theme. I started writing this story. I thought I have to include something in it, and that's when I switched to that is a little piece which I have written in some another folder in my laptop. I picked that up from that, and
Okay.
I've kind of put it somewhere. And when the plot started to become clearer to me in my mind, in my imagination, that's when I put that part in the place where it deemed fit. And it happened
Wow.
this way. I haven't thought step by step. It happened from connecting the dots, you can say.
Mm-hmm. I get it. So tell me, if the book is made into a movie, which actors would you like to cast? Like Bollywood movie.
This is quite goosebumps question to me. I can't even imagine this, but yeah, if we are talking about this, I kind of I'm an emotional person, and talking about characters, as a lot of people have, I also loved Sushant Singh Rajput, and
Hmm.
the way he used to see the life, the way he used to see practicality in almost everything. I was follower of Sushant Singh Rajput since the very beginning when he was
Yeah.
casted for the first time, and I used to follow him on Instagram a lot. His posts and the understanding of cosmology about every scientific thing, it
Yes.
was just amazing.
He
I
was a
would have
great
loved.
human.
He was kind, especially the you can say understanding of nature, understanding of world, understanding of people he had was
Mhm.
just out of this world. I would have loved him in the role of Ayan,
Yeah.
and it's an emotional question to me. So that's why I think I would have an emotional answer for it. Uh, yeah. So that's how I imagine the character of Ayan. You know,
And for our heroine.
for the main character Tripti, I'm a huge fan of Generally D'Souza, and she's kind of the elegance and
Yeah.
the way she talks, the way she presents herself in the scenes. I'm a huge fan of hers.
And she has a very
I
pretty
was
smile.
pretty, very cute smile, and I kind of watched Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na. I don't know how many times. So yeah, I'd love to see her someday
Wow,
if she
huh?
reads the book.
Both of them would have fitted the role so well. Like now you have said it, like I can imagine like Tripti and Ayan to be them. Like, and it would have made a very like unique couple actually.
Yeah, it will, although it's my personal, chemistry in my mind, but
Yeah.
let's say that, yeah, as I said, I'm an emotional being. I imagine them, the characters.
Yeah, that's like a perfect answer. So,
Thank you.
who inspires you? Like, who has been your role model all this while, like throughout your life, and maybe as a writer?
If you are talking about role model in my perspective, not as a writer, but as a human being, you know, uh, my parents have inspired me in throughout every phase of my life. My father was an athlete
Mm-hmm.
in his, in his days. He was a national level, runner. He was
Great.
he won, medals at national level. The way he sees the world, my father, we used to talk a lot about many things. We
Mm-hmm.
still talk a lot, and the way he explains things, in every topic, whatever we discuss, we don't talk a lot, because I live far from home. But whenever we used to talk, when I was in my engineering or before that, the way he explains everything, the way he sees good in every person, the way he motivates me, he has inspired me all my phases. There were times when I was stuck and I didn't have anything to do, but he has supported me throughout.
That's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, as I said, I'm an emotional person, so maybe that's why.
I can see how the emotions come inside the book. Like writers have to experience so that the readers can.
Yeah, of course, the words are and the scenes, plots, they do not come out easily. They have to have certain phases in life. We have to have certain phases in life. We have to experience something to write.
True. I'll agree to that, like 100% true. So, tell me, like, excluding writing, what else have you been doing during this pandemic situation? Like, maybe to improve yourself at while staying at home?
Yeah, I don't know if I've improved or not, but I'm kind of very lazy person. Most of the time I've spent was watching shows and movies, and because my during the peak, this is the peak time of pandemic, but the things have opened now. We are getting busy in our jobs and that. But during the lockdown 2 3 months ago, around April or May, most of the time I spent was looking for publishers, sending proposals.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to very, amazing people who are in publishing industries, and they have also liked the concept. So I was talking to them mostly, preparing my proposals, sending them, trying to improve the storyline a bit. I
Yeah.
was kind of busy in that, giving it final touch to send to the publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And watching shows, as I said, watching shows, I had a lot of time because the banks were
Oh, that you
uh,
had watched
around
during this
up
time?
to. I watched, complete season of The Witcher. I have watched the complete season of not complete season, but that time I think first season was the Dark's first season was announced. I think 1 2 months
Mhm.
back. I watched that. I watched 3 seasons of Friends. Late, but I have started thanks to this pandemic, and I can
I
cook.
have also watched 2 seasons.
Oh, it's amazing show. I haven't expected this. People used to post stories and statuses, but when I started watching, it's a show which you can watch anytime, even 50 years later. If we'll watch Friends, we can totally enjoy this.
We can enjoy and like maybe just laugh out loud and be done with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything, every scene, every plot, every episode is just amazing to enjoy.
Okay. So tell me, any tips that you would like to give people around, like who are dealing with mental health issues or maybe problems during this time of isolation?
Okay, as I'm not an expert, maybe, but I'll say whatever I've seen things with people I have known through a person or two.
Mhm.
these things are, we can't control them. These are the things which, comes from nowhere. We can't calculate the possibility of it. We can't calculate the impact of it, has on people and the people around the sufferers.
True.
So what we need is, we need to, look for each other, especially the family, the friends,
Hmm.
the relatives, everyone, around us might be experiencing something, some emotions, like excitement and happiness. Like I'm excited, so I can, share, I can express. But there
Yes.
are certain, you can say, emotions or feelings which, even the person can't explain who's, going through it.
Hmm.
For that, we need to look around, people, and talk to them. Oh, okay, what's wrong? What is this? You need to, you open up, please. And yeah, it doesn't make you feel, you smaller, or, it doesn't hurt your ego.
I think,
If you talk
like
to,
me, what I would like
I
to add
love
to
to know.
this is like people should go out and ask for like doctors and doctors for mental health issues. Like it's not a shame. Like
Yeah, I was coming into, yeah, I was, reaching to that point,
okay.
which you have, started discussing. If these things are kind of a stigma in our society, we don't usually talk about this. We don't usually discuss them. There are many, uh, incidents that happen with people, which, because of the lack of awareness, you can say, or lack of support, these things gets worse. And when it gets worse, you then cannot, control them, or make people live a normal life. We see a lot of people who roam
Yes.
on the street, who roam on the stations. They can be saved if only
If the
we
help
realize
is
it,
given at the right time.
at the right time, and with the right professional. There are a lot of factors with this too.
Yeah.
If we don't go to the right person at the right time, we can,
Yeah.
cannot
If you're
save a
like,
life.
like if the
It's like,
situation, yeah,
it's
you can
like,
continue.
living a life which has no meaning. If things gets worse, then
Hmm.
it's equal to living or non-living. So that's why, reaching the proper help at the proper time, with the proper
Hmm.
person, proper professional, is very important. And
That's true.
we have to start dialogues on that, because apart from any media incident or any celebrities incident, we don't usually discuss them.
Yeah. That's the saddest part of our society right now. Like, and that is why people don't seek help, like go out and seek help.
People are afraid, and people are unaware. There are many places, there are out of reach from medical professionals, like where I live is a hilly part, is in Uttarakhand,
Hmm.
and we have medical professionals here,
Hmm.
but we don't have the kind of medical professional which a person, suffering from inside, suffering from
Mental health issues.
the issues which, even a person can't express. We don't have that kind of professionals here. So how can a person get help at the proper time?
It's true. I had done a survey on Instagram, and there were many questions,
Okay.
and I had tried to include all of them, and they were pretty much similar to my question, and you had
Okay.
answered most of them. So just one question that is left is why one of the people were asking like, why did you choose this title, like Sunset by the River?
There's
Like
a
I know
question,
the
a lot
answer.
of people
Like I know the answer.
know the answer because I've read it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking me this, and it's kind of, I'm also amazed at how come I, come up with this kind of title. So what happened, I've discussed it with a few people also. I was writing this story. I have written most of the part of it without any title. I haven't decided any title till I wrote, uh, 80-90% of the story. I had
Okay.
few titles in my mind. Let me
Hmm.
say it. I had a title, Love and the Myth, kind of thing. So
Wow.
I was thinking about this. Can it be a catchy? Can it grasp the reader? Can it? I was thinking about. I had this title in my mind. I haven't thought of Sunset by the River. When I wrote 95% of the story with these one or two hazy titles in my mind, then I was writing that scene, depicting that scene where two characters, they are sitting together, they are experiencing all the emotions from their past or whatever happened to them, from love, misery, you know from tragedies that have happened. They are experiencing this, and they are in a part of the city. you know when you read that that part, as you said, I understand it as you have read it. So when you read that exact portion of the story, you will understand the title of the story. So
And
I
how
think I
metaphorical it
should.
is.
Oh, thank you so
Like,
much.
it was wonderfully written. And I think Love and Myth would have been quite a scientific kind of a title. Like, this is love and this is myth.
Yeah. Because I was straightforward back then. I was writing with the theme in my mind. As I said, I thought about these hazy titles. I was not, I haven't finalized it. And
Okay.
then when I wrote this chapter, that thing came into my mind.
Like, yes, this should be the title.
Yes, you
I think,
you can say title has chosen this story.
yeah,
Thank
on
you.
point. Okay. So, in this segment, I would request you to read an extract from your book, Sunset by the River.
Okay. So the extract which is quite close to me is, it was, as I said, I when I wrote this, I had pieces lying,
Mhm.
scattered, and I have collected those pieces and put into the story to connect the dots and to make the narration going. So this is the scene when Ayan is sitting and he's feeling very broken, and he's experiencing a heartbreak, and he can't think anything. And that's when he sees that the rainpour is dropping around in his office. He can see the raindrops sticking to the glass, and that's when he kind of thinks of this quote which I came up with. I could see towards my right the droplets of the glasses of the office building from my cabin. Looking at them, a quote came to my mind. Ayan says, Ayan thinks, the only thing that distracts us from our misery is the utter realness of nature. It does
Wow.
not deceive us, it just presents itself as it is. No artificial behavior, no false expectations. It just conveys one message: be in the present and never expect anything in return. So that's it's a
That,
part of extract. What happened was I wrote this part, or you can say article, for a Facebook post before writing this story. I was in the middle of this story when I kind of wrote a Facebook article and quoting about nature, this part.
mhm.
So I was about to post, and then I said, wait, okay, why don't I put it into
Included it.
my story?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't I include it into the story somewhere? And that's when it kind of uh, you know deemed
Came
fit
into
into
being
the
inside the book.
position. Yeah, inside the book, and how Anne was feeling kind of mixed up with this.
Oh, that's like, I think every part of the story has a story of its own.
Yes, every chapter, or you can say every part, every character has
Mhm.
their own story related to somewhat, I've seen or experienced people. I've seen people and the things they have experienced.
Hmm.
It's kind of blend of everything.
Okay. So, can you please tell our audience on which platforms is your book available?
Yeah, okay. This Today is Teachers' Day. First of all, so it's a really good occasion for me because I was a teacher. I taught for 2 years, and when I was in engineering, I was also taking uh, tuitions. I was teaching kids back then also. I used to teach right now also. There is a kid in the neighbor. I teach him too.
I think
So
teachers
it's a
never
special
retire.
occasion for me. So today it's free on Kindle. It's on Kindle platform right now. Books are out for printing, and they'll be listed very soon on Amazon, Flipkart. They'll be on Spotify as an audiobook too.
Wow.
And yeah, you can hear the story as well.
Reread the book on Spotify.
Yeah, a lot of people love your audiobooks. A lot of people, are crazy about audiobooks. So, uh,
True.
so she has had this idea for long. She said we have to list this on audio platform. I said, great, okay, do whatever you like. Just make sure the story reaches the readers.
She has a good knack of like publishing, and like your book is in like perfect hands, I would say.
Wow, I mean, I can totally relate to this. And tomorrow is her birthday. I want to wish her in advance happy birthday, Tusti. And she has been an amazing, she's an amazing person. And the way she manages, everything, literally.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of inspired from her too.
Yes. Like she is an inspiration for everyone out there. Like the way she balances stuffs, and we love you, Trishti.
I've met amazing people from the publishing industry in the past too when I was, reaching out for this book. And I was, quite confused whom to go first. Everyone have kind of liked the concept, and I have, had two or three very amazing people. But then I had to decide, someone. So I went ahead with Tusti, and I'm very
Glad.
lucky, that I decided. I'm glad that I've decided to go with flipping pages.
I'm glad you made the decision, and that is why I was able to read such an amazing book.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Sameer, for this ecstatic interview, and all the very best for your book and upcoming ventures.
Thank you so much, Ayushi. It was really great interacting with you, as a reader and as a interview. You are just amazing. Thank you so much.
So, it's a wrap for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed having this discussion with Sameer Saxena. Until next time, stay home, stay safe, and cheers to nerd life.